Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here with Petra Deuter, who is Executive Director for Iconic Luxury Hotels. Now, many of you may not know Iconic, but that's why we're here to find out all about it. They've actually just added a pretty marquee property to their collection, and they're expanding internationally. But by and large, they've been pretty much UK-based until now. So we're going to talk to Petra about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, Petra, how are you and where are you right now?
Hi, James. Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing well, thank you. Busier than ever. It's been a tough few months, I'd say, for everyone, especially for our hotel industry. And I've been working hard with the teams, preparing and opening our resorts in the Mediterranean. And in these unprecedented times, I'd say, and obviously also incorporating our Excelsior Hotel in Venice.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to talk about. That's your latest addition, and in fact, you just told me right before we started this interview that you had just gotten back from a trip to visit a lot of properties, including the one in Venice, and I have to tell you, I'm very jealous. It may, I'm sure, you said you had quarantined in London for a while and then did this trip. But, in the old days, it would have been like, oh, I got to go on a trip. And now it's like probably, wow, I get to go on a trip, right?
Well, yes, exactly. After 4 months in lockdown in London, I was really looking forward to it, that's for sure. And obviously incorporating the Excelsior Hotel in Venice is a real milestone for us, and I'm looking toward the future, obviously, with Iconic Luxury Hotels and the exciting things that we have on the horizon.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the background of Iconic Luxury Hotels. Tell us a little bit about the collection, how long it's been around, and actually who owns it.
Sure. Well, Iconic Luxury Hotels, in short, ILH, was founded in December 2016. And is part of L&R Hotels, which is a continuously growing and evolving family-owned global hotel investment and management company owned by the Livingston brothers. And we have an extensive portfolio already of over 90 hotels across the UK, continental Europe, the US, and the Caribbean. And these include the Iconic Luxury Hotels. And my colleague, Andrew Stembridge, who's the Iconic Luxury Hotels Executive Director for the United Kingdom, he's been managing the collection from the very beginning and is continuously ensuring, its tremendous success in the United Kingdom. Yeah. And as we are expanding the collection as a soft brand, I'm now personally getting involved in the international part of that. So we own and operate the hotels, or just operate third-party hotels. We have an international focus, and we're very excited to incorporate more distinct, architectural and hotels with cultural heritage and natural surroundings. That's sort of like the hallmark of the Iconic luxury hotels. So each one of the properties has its own distinct character, traditions, and stories, but they all share a common, commitment, I'd say, to delivering true, unique experiences for our guests. And I think, one of the most famous hotels you probably all know is Cliveden House. It's one of England's finest country estates, to the Hotel Excelsior in Italy, which is home to the Venice International Film Festival. And there are other UK hotels in the collection, including, Chewton Glen and Ligon Arms and 11 Cadogan Gardens in the best area of London and so forth. So we're expanding as well, not only in Venice, but also looking to Mykonos in Greece, as well as Palm Beach in Florida.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, because it was mostly a UK collection, and you had Cliveden House, which people do know. And then you just added the Excelsior, the Venice, which obviously people know from the Venice Film Festival. So the strategy is obviously to expand elsewhere in Europe, and obviously, eventually, as you said, at Palm Beach and places like that, right?
Yes, and in many other destinations, probably in Europe and in in the U.S., city centers, as well as resorts and country environments, destinations. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned a little bit about what makes for an iconic luxury hotel. What are the characteristics that you look for when you add these to your collection?
Yeah, well, I mean, each iconic luxury hotel property was selected based on the distinct architecture, cultural heritage and natural surroundings, which I mentioned before. And each property has to have its own character, tradition, and story, So that's kind of like the main aspect of it. I truly think all the iconic properties are well known internationally for exactly that, but we'd like to add more to this great portfolio.
Yeah, no, and clearly you're on expansion mode, in an odd time to be in expansion mode. But and actually, with that in mind, are most of your properties now open, or you still have some closed?
No, actually, after the government had introduced restrictions in March this year, we obviously had to close down our UK properties. But in the meantime, we've reopened them, and they're all open. Yeah, they've all reopened, and we are, I think, Andrew Stembridge and his team are working very well in the United Kingdom under the very, very different circumstances, I'd say, and we're luckily also enjoying full occupancies at the moment, and are hoping to deliver a great guest experience just as it was before. Yeah.
Now is the Helsier in Venice open?
Yes, of course. We opened our hotel in Venice a few weeks ago, starting with the beach, and then the hotel. And yes, and we are also enjoying quite high occupancy levels at the moment in Venice. When you look compared to all the other hotels that you would see in Venice, in the city center of Venice. I think the most important aspect is that we have 1,300 beach cabanas there. We have very wide open spaces in that hotel. We have the largest rooms in all of Venice, so people can kind of spread out. It's not very claustrophobic, and I think, we've been able to provide the same type of guest experience as before, because we also have, outdoor restaurants on a big terrace overlooking, the Adriatic Sea. So it's not the same as if you were in Venice in a really small hotel in the middle of the city. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been lucky enough to stay on the Lido there, and it is a very different kind of Venice experience than being, they're both wonderful, but it is nice to have a beach once in a while and a place to retreat to, and then still go see Venice when you want to.
Yes, absolutely, completely. And it's only 15 minutes away with our water taxi. So if you don't want to go into Venice, and you can feel like you're in any other resort in the world, you can just stay there. It offers everything that you need, including a kids club and all kinds of sport activity possibilities. But if you want to go into Venice, you can do so now, which would probably would be like it was in the 50s, with much less people running around.
Oh yeah, no. I once wrote a column because I was staying not on St. Mark's Island, but another island that was not. It was pretty empty, and I wrote a column called "My Own Private Venice," which I think right now probably all of Venice is my own private Venice. Although I suspect
Yes.
that people are starting to come back, but we'll see. And we kept talking about over tourism in Venice, but we haven't had that issue. And I understand the water is a lot cleaner too.
Well, the water is a lot cleaner for sure, but also I think it really is. It's a different thing now, because in the past there were so many persons taking flights, obviously, to resorts and vacation destinations. And what Venice is good about, as well as, of course, Lido Island, is that you can drive there. So the ones who don't want to get on a flight can just hop into their car, whether that's from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and they can drive to the resort. And that's just fantastic.
Yeah, well, I did that last year, but I drove from Rome, so it's I've been fortunate enough to go to Venice many times. One of my favorite places, as much as it's such a well touristed place, but there's so many different places to. There's nothing like getting lost in the alleyways of Venice and just trying to make your way. But it is one of my favorite places. Now, you mentioned obviously you're going to be expanding more, and the next up is probably your Mykonos resort, and then you'll have actually a hotel the Palm House Hotel in Palm Beach. What's the timing on adding those to the collection?
Well, just to go back to the Excelsior for a moment. So
Okay.
we're so pleased that the Excelsior, is the newest and the first international property to join the collection. I mean, it's actually the perfect addition to it because it's been unbranded. It's been an unbranded hotel with its own personality and individuality. So it fits right in with all the others we have already in England. And, it was clearly also selected for its historical and landmark five-star hotel, unique destination, and also obviously because it's famous for the Venice Film Festival, right? So we manage the hotel, ourselves, clearly, and we're looking to include other properties, whether they're in Mykonos or in Palm Beach, most likely next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're looking at other properties as we speak, which may come into the collection potentially even earlier.
And any specific destinations that you aspire to go to?
Well, I think what we are looking at right now, very specifically, are the Greek islands, also perhaps mainland Greece, as well as potentially other destinations in Italy, maybe Sardinia. And of course the United States.
Now, could you tell us a little bit about your background and when you joined Iconic Hotels, and also what attracted you to join to work on the collection?
Well, I joined L&R Hotels, the parent company, in 2017, and as director of operations. And for nearly 3 years, I've been asset managing and overseeing the performance of the 4- and 5-star properties that we have in Europe. So part of that role has included implementing, change and at property levels in our 5-star assets, and to ensure that we get the best return of investment for our principals, right? So I currently still oversee these resort hotels, and additionally, in my new role as executive director international for Iconic Luxury, which I just began this year, I'm responsible for developing the group's international collection, including the setup of, operations and the commercial structures with a mission to grow the portfolio with owned and managed hotels, but also in operating third-party hotels. So we are very keen on, on offering the Iconic Luxury hotels to other hotel owners.
Yeah.
Sorry?
What are the advantages to U.S. travel advisors in working directly with Iconic Luxury hotels to book these wonderful properties?
Sure. Well, I think we're undoubtedly, we have very pronounced customer service approach, and that's not only for our guests, but also for the travel industry partners. We can answer any inquiry related to the destinations experiences to be had in Europe, and in addition to the hotels, of course, itself. Our teams are very personable, empathetic, especially now during the COVID-19 situation where we've had to make, many concessions and have helped with many things. Highly professional staff, multilingual, with a global mindset, I'd say. And we pride ourselves in, I'd say we pride ourselves in providing highly individualized service and quick turnaround when it comes to inquiries. We're a dynamic and internationally successful company. We know, when there's an opportunity out there and how we work with our travel partners.
Now I would ask also, are you working, how are you marketing to the U.S. market now, especially with travel advisors, marketing this brand? And especially, of course, it's a difficult time with COVID-19, but how are you working with the U.S. travel advisors, travel agents here in the U.S. and marketing?
Well, we've had a long-standing relationship already with the U.S. So, as I said, my colleague Andrew Stembridge and the UK team, who've established, the collection already years ago, have been working with many U.S. partners. And throughout the crisis, the team, they've taken a very proactive approach in keeping in touch with the network, luxury travel advisors. I guess, it's mostly ensuring that all of the COVID procedures have been well implemented, and that we're very flexible in terms of our reservations and cancellations, and we have very close relationships with consortiums like Virtuoso, American Express, Traveler Made, Relais Chateau, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So everything obviously has now been done via these type of Zoom calls and digitally. And at some point, we hope to go back and see them all in person.
Well, I think ILTM is still on schedule, although many of us doubt whether that's going to occur in Cannes in December, but we certainly hope
Yes.
so. So we'll see what happens. That's the next one that we're looking at. And of course, World Travel Market too. But right as we're speaking now, the Virtuoso is doing their virtual Virtuoso week, which is a different experience. Let me tell you that. Now, is there anything? Yeah, is there anything else you want to get out to? Or we have about 100,000 U.S. travel advisors that we go out to about iconic luxury hotels, and also, what's the best way to contact you and get in touch with the collection?
Yeah, well, I would say there's one important message that I'd like to convey. I mean, I would say that we have a very, very eclectic portfolio. So from an English country ideal to an exclusive Venetian beach, the hotels and resorts occupy the best locations in the UK and in Europe and soon in the Americas. And I think that we provide real and true iconic luxury in its finest form. And I mean, our best assets are our employees. And, you know, each property offers iconic bespoke experiences for guests that perfectly align with the environment and all of that. And, you know, we have many repeat guests and hope to increase the number moving forward. And we can be reached best via our website, iconicluxuryhotels.com, for reservations or any other inquiries for any of our now 6 properties. For, you know, and if anybody happens to be interested in becoming part of our collection, the information is also there for Andrew Stembridge and myself under management agreements. So we'd be happy to answer anybody who shows any interest.
Well, Petra, it was great to meet you online, and congratulations on this expansion during a strange period in the world. Obviously, the Venice property is a truly great addition to your collection.
Yes.
And you have some wonderful other properties existing, as well as plans for even more. And hopefully we'll get some travel advisors to keep booking, even though right now we're at kind of a standstill. But for next year, I think a lot of people are looking to 2021 to book Europe. I certainly want to go to Europe. I want to go to Europe now, but you're lucky enough.
We're already seeing quite a lot of bookings actually coming in for 2021. So I agree with you. I think it'll pick up a lot more for the coming year. Yeah.
Well, I hope we all hope that's so. We'll see what's going on. But again, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much, James, for the opportunity. Much appreciated.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.